All right, let's do this. You ready to dive deep into Squid Game?
Always. Especially with all this juicy stuff you sent over about Season 2 and all the hype for Season 3, where do we even start?
Well, you know me. You said a whole stack of articles and I read them all.
So we've got reviews from Time and Screen Rant.
Oh, and those articles from Forbes and comicbook.com about Season 3 definitely looks like you want to go deeper than just, like, was it good or bad?
Exactly.
Like, remember how you were saying Squid Game is this big critique of capitalism, right?
Yeah.
But now it's a mega brand itself.
Yeah, like how does that work? It's
Yeah.
like the show is a victim of its own success, almost. Did it lose its bite? That's what I really want to unpack.
Okay, perfect. So first things first. For anyone who hasn't had the chance to binge Season 2 yet.
Spoiler alert.
Haha.
Yeah.
Slight spoiler alert. But real quick, what's the deal with Season 2? Gan's back, right?
Yep, and he's not messing around. He wants revenge on the Game Masters, the whole system. He teams up with Jun-ho.
The cop.
Tuh.
Whose brother? Wait.
Yeah, his brother was the front man. Talk about a family reunion, right?
Wow. Okay, so they're digging deeper into this whole, like, evil organization behind the games.
Exactly. And of course, we get some new games. Visually, they were amazing, like always.
Super creepy, though. That whole nursery rhyme thing. Chillin'.
Yeah, like taking something innocent from childhood and twisting it into, like, a life or death situation.
And that's what Squid Game does so well, right?
Totally.
But, okay, here's where things get interesting. You know how everyone was praising Squid Game for being this super smart takedown of capitalism?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Times Review basically says that all the Squid Game merch you see everywhere. That's actually proof the show's right.
Kind of ironic, right?
Totally. It's like, think back to Halloween 2021. Squid Game costumes were everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. My niece was Young-hee.
See? And now it's official merch, real-life games. Even Mr. Beast made a Squid Game video. It's almost too obvious, you know?
It's like the system it's critiquing just swallowed it whole and turned it into another product.
Okay, so that leads into the whole thing about the mixed reviews Season 2 got. Some critics are saying the pacing was off, the plot felt kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
Even some of the side stories just went nowhere. What do you think?
Yeah, I see where they're coming from. There were definitely parts where it felt like, I don't know, like it was dragging a bit.
Especially with those side stories.
Right. But then I was thinking, maybe they're setting us up for something bigger in Season 3. Like, remember in the first season how all those seemingly random things ended up being connected?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Like with the cops' investigation and then that whole organ harvesting thing.
Exactly. All those threads came together. So maybe they're doing the same thing here. Planting seeds, you know.
Okay, interesting. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, especially considering how good the first season was.
And speaking of Season 3, you said you had some news about that.
Oh, yeah. You won't have to wait years for this one.
That's a relief.
Like we did for Season 2.
Yeah.
The creator.
Hwang Dong-hyuk.
Yeah, he confirmed Season 3 is coming out summer or fall 2025.
Whoa. That's pretty soon for Netflix.
Right. It's super fast.
Yeah.
Especially for a show this big.
So what's the deal?
Well, Forbes actually spilled the beans.
Okay.
They filmed Seasons 2 and 3 back to back.
Ah, that makes sense. Smart move.
Yeah. Keep the hype going right.
Totally. And speaking of hype, comicbook.com gave us a sneak peek of the Season 3 poster.
Oh, no.
Those creepy dolls are back. Both of them. Young-hee, Andy, Shil-soo.
Oh, no, they're going to be a big part of it then.
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay, so, but Season 2 left us with so many cliffhangers.
Like, where do we even begin?
I know.
Well, Forbes made a good point. They called Season 2 one long setup for Season 3. Remember all those subplots that felt kind of unresolved?
Yeah, like what was the point of all that?
Exactly. So maybe we're going to tie it all together in Season 3.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like Season 2 was planting the seeds.
Right.
And now we get to see what grows from them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Gi-hun.
Oh, yeah. Where does he even go from here? He's been through so much.
Right.
And his attempt to expose the games totally backfired.
Yeah, he's at a breaking point. Dong-hyuk actually said Season 3 will have a darker tone.
Oh.
And he described Gi-hun as being at a critical crossroads.
What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it sounds like he might go down a path we don't expect.
Ooh, okay, now that's interesting.
And get this, Dong-hyuk actually gave us a clue.
A clue.
He said to watch the Season 2 post-credits scene.
Wait, what?
It gives a glimpse of what the next deadly game might be.
No way. I totally missed that.
Yeah, you gotta rewatch it.
Okay, I'm definitely doing that tonight. It's like every little detail could be a clue in Squid Game.
Right. You got to pay attention.
But so speaking of paying attention, you mentioned something about representation earlier.
Oh, yeah. Times Review had some interesting things to say about how season 2 handled female characters.
Okay.
And the introduction of the transgender character Hunju.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Well, Time pointed out that season 2 definitely had more female characters with, like, more depth.
They weren't just there in the background.
Right. They had their own stories and motivations.
Like that pregnant player.
Yeah. And the one who became like a shaman.
It adds another layer to the whole thing, right?
Utterly.
It's not just about economic disparity.
Mm-hmm.
We also see how gender and belief systems all play a role.
Exactly.
And then there's Hyunju,
Right.
the trans character, who's also a military veteran.
That's a powerful combination.
Yeah, it shows how someone can experience different forms of oppression at the same time.
That's what intersectionality means.
Right.
Like Hyunju being a trans woman and a veteran makes her character even more complex.
Okay, I get it.
It highlights the challenges that people with multiple marginalized identities face.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Squid Game is really tackling some heavy stuff.
It definitely sparked a lot of conversation.
But there was also some controversy around Hyunju's casting, right?
Yeah, Time mentioned that they cast a cisgender male actor to play her. So that started a debate about representation and authenticity.
Which is a valid point.
Yeah.
Like, should they have cast a trans woman for the role?
Right.
I mean, the entertainment industry is still figuring out how to do representation.
Right. It's a complex issue.
It is.
And it's not going away anytime soon.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So coming back to Squid Game, I'm interested to see how they handle these themes in season 3.
Especially with the whole thing about the show's message versus its success.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this meta-narrative almost. Like
Yeah.
the show itself is a player in the game. It's criticizing.
Yeah, it's like, is Squid Game going to fall victim to the same forces it's warning us about?
Right. Like, can it even critique the system when it's profiting from it?
Yeah, it's like, are we part of the problem by just watching?
I mean, are we just buying into the hype? Like, is it just entertainment or is it more?
It's almost like we have to think about our choices as viewers, you know?
I think so. Like, are we supporting the message or are we just consuming another product?
It's kind of deep, right?
Yeah, Squid Game isn't just a show. It's a reflection of our society, our values.
It makes you think about the real world, not just the game.
And it forces us to confront some uncomfortable truths.
Like, about capitalism.
Yeah, like wealth inequality, social mobility, all that.
It really gets under your skin.
And it makes us question our own role in the system.
Okay, but enough of the heavy stuff for a second. What are you excited to see in season 3?
Well, Gihun, for sure. Like, what happens to him?
Yeah. Does he go full-on revenge mode?
Or does he find a way to stay human?
What about the front man? We still don't know much about him.
What's his story? Why is he doing this?
I have so many questions.
Me too. And I think that's the sign of a good show.
It keeps you thinking even after it's over.
Exactly. It sparks debate, makes you use your imagination.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything, right?
Yeah, we've gone deep on this one.
From those crazy cliffhangers to the whole capitalism thing.
It's been a wild ride.
To our listener, thanks for sending us all the Squid Game stuff.
We hope you enjoyed the deep dive.
And until next time, keep thinking critically about the world, all right?
And don't forget to watch that post-credit scene.